Every morning do you wake up and feel that searing pain when you try to get out of bed? That feeling as if your joints were being crushed by invisible stones with every movement? I completely understand what you're going through. Like Mary, a 73-year-old retiree from Denver, who could no longer even open the bottle of her own arthritis medications. The pain in her hands and knees had robbed her of her independence. She had tried everything from expensive anti-inflammatories to painful cortisone injections to those copper bracelets that promise miracles but deliver absolutely nothing. I felt betrayed by my own body, she once told me. As if every day I lost a little more of my freedom. After 28 years of helping people just like you overcome arthritis pain, I discovered something that completely changed Mary's lives and that of thousands of other patients. Today, I'm going to share with you an aspect that almost no one mentions in the treatment of osteoarthritis. How certain fruits, the same ones you probably consume thinking they are good for your health, can be silently worsening your inflammation and intensifying your joint pain. And best of all, you won't need risky surgeries, expensive medications, or complicated exercises. If you've been suffering from osteoarthritis pain for months or even decades, the next few minutes can completely change your life. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 common fruits that most seniors consume daily without knowing that they may be increasing joint inflammation and intensifying arthritis pain. You'll find out not only what these fruits are, but also why they affect arthritis sufferers so negatively, and more importantly, what are the healthy alternatives that can help reduce your pain instead of making it worse. You know, my interest in this subject began when I noticed a curious pattern among my patients. Those who reported significant improvements had often made changes to their diet, often by chance. Like Robert, a 68-year-old man who stopped eating certain fruits during a diet to lose weight and noticed, to his surprise, that his knee pain had decreased dramatically. That's when I started to investigate more deeply the connection between certain foods and the inflammation of osteoarthritis. What I discovered was so surprising that I had to share it with you. Before we dive into this fascinating subject, I'd like to know if you've ever noticed any connection between your diet and the intensity of your joint pain. Have you ever noticed that after eating certain foods your joints feel stiffer or more painful? Type yes in the comments if this has ever happened to you, or no if you have never noticed this relationship. And if you're concerned about the health of your joints or know someone who suffers from osteoarthritis, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Forever Young Tips channel for honest, science-based advice, specially designed for older adults. Now, let's start our journey with the 7 fruits that, although healthy for many people, can be real villains for those who suffer from osteoarthritis. You'll be surprised to find that some of the most recommended fruits for a healthy diet may be intensifying your aches and pains without you ever suspecting it. I need to pause here for a moment and ask something important. When was the last time someone truly understood how osteoarthritis pain affects not only their body, but their entire life? The way she steals those precious moments. The frustration of not being able to open a door. Or the sadness of saying no to the invitation to go on a walk with your grandchildren because your legs simply couldn't take it today. I know that for many of you, this has been a silent battle. People see you smiling despite the pain, but they don't see those mornings when it takes all your strength just to get out of bed. I want you to know that I see you. This community sees you. And your experience is profoundly important. Right now, in the comments below, I'd love for you to share which food you suspect makes your arthritis pain worse. You can simply copy and paste. I suspect mouse makes my arthritis worse. Your comment may be just what someone else needs to read today to feel less alone in their struggle. Because sometimes knowing that someone understands your specific pain is the first step to healing. So please take a moment now to share your experience below. I read all the comments as well as thousands of other people who are walking this same difficult path. Let's go to the first fruit on our list, one that many doctors recommend precisely for its health benefits, but which can be problematic for those who suffer from osteoarthritis. Oranges. That's right, that juicy fruit you probably have for breakfast thinking it's strengthening your immune system may be silently making your arthritis worse. Here's a fact you may not know. Oranges and other citrus fruits contain high levels of a compound called oxalic acid, which in some people can increase inflammation in the joints and intensify pain. Take the case of Eleanor, a 75-year-old woman from Minnesota. For years, she drank a large glass of fresh orange juice every morning, convinced she was protecting her health. I always heard that vitamin C was essential, especially at our age, she told me. But I never imagined that it could be related to the worsening of my pain. Eleanor noticed that on the days when she drank her juice, the stiffness in her hands was much worse. When she replaced orange juice with another drink, she felt a significant improvement in just 2 weeks. What happens scientifically is that the oxalic acid present in citrus fruits can stimulate the production of inflammatory cytokines in the body. For people with osteoarthritis whose joints are already in a state of chronic inflammation, this additional stimulus can intensify pain and stiffness. It's like throwing more fuel on a fire that's already burning. In addition, in some people, citrus can trigger a mild but constant inflammatory response, which over time manifests as increased joint pain. The consequence of this is not only immediate pain, but also a vicious cycle of inflammation that can accelerate cartilage degradation. And the most dangerous thing is that many elderly people increase their consumption of citrus fruits just when they feel that their health is deteriorating, without realizing that they may be aggravating their joint problem. What can you do? Try replacing citrus with fruits with anti-inflammatory properties, such as blueberries or cherries. Not only are these delicious, but recent studies show that they can actually help reduce inflammation in the joints. If you really like oranges, try limiting them to small portions, no more than half an orange a day, and observe how your joints respond. The second fruit on our list may surprise you: bananas. These convenient and nutritious fruits are excellent for many people, but for arthritis sufferers, they can be problematic due to their high sugar and starch content. Many of my patients don't realize that ripe bananas contain a significant amount of natural sugar that can trigger inflammatory processes in the body. James, a 71-year-old former marathoner from California, ate 2 bananas a day as part of his exercise routine. I have always eaten bananas to prevent cramps and maintain my energy. I never imagined they could be contributing to my knee pain, he told me. When James reduced his consumption of bananas to just 2 a week, he noticed a considerable reduction in the morning stiffness of his joints. From a scientific standpoint, the sugars in bananas can raise insulin levels in the blood, which in turn can increase the production of inflammatory substances in the body. For people with osteoarthritis, any increase in systemic inflammation can manifest as increased pain in already compromised joints. In addition, bananas have a moderately high glycemic index, especially when they are very ripe. This means that they can cause blood sugar spikes, which are associated with increases in inflammation. And what many don't know is that eating bananas regularly can affect the balance of minerals in the body, including potassium and magnesium, which play important roles in joint health. Alternatively, try green apples, which have lower sugar content, or pears, which contain flavonoids with anti-inflammatory properties. If you really like bananas, opt for the less ripe ones, which have lower sugar content and more resistant starch, which is better for gut health and can indirectly benefit your joints. Are you enjoying this information? Then be sure to give this video a like and share it with someone you know who suffers from joint pain. It may be just what that person needs to hear today. The third fruit on our list is pineapple. This delicious tropical fruit is often recommended for its digestive benefits due to the enzyme bromelain. However, for people with osteoarthritis, pineapple can be problematic due to its high sugar content and acidity. Margaret, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Florida, loved eating fresh pineapple almost every day. I always heard that pineapple had enzymes that were good for digestion. But I started to notice that in the days following consumption, my hands were incredibly sore, she told me. When Margaret eliminated pineapple from her diet for a month as a test, she was surprised by the reduction in pain and swelling in her joints. The science behind this is interesting. While bromelain has anti-inflammatory properties, pineapple's high sugar content may negate these benefits for people with osteoarthritis. The acidity of pineapple can also be problematic, as some research suggests that very acidic foods may contribute to inflammation in sensitive people. A little-known aspect is that pineapple contains compounds that may interact with certain medications commonly used by the elderly, including some pain relievers and anti-inflammatories. This interaction can decrease the effectiveness of medications or increase their side effects. If you love pineapple, consider replacing it with papaya, which has similar digestive enzymes but generally causes fewer problems for people with osteoarthritis. Another alternative is watermelon, which has a high water and antioxidant content, but lower acidity and sugar compared to pineapple. Our fourth fruit is one that many consider a superfood: strawberries. Although strawberries are rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, they belong to the family of rosaceae, which are known to cause mild allergic reactions in many people. For those who have osteoarthritis, even a mild allergic reaction can increase inflammation in the body and worsen joint symptoms. Barbara, a 77-year-old grandmother from Oregon, regularly ate strawberries in her salads and smoothies. I ate them almost daily because I knew they were healthy. I never suspected they might be contributing to my hand pain until I did an elimination test, she said. After removing strawberries from her diet for 3 weeks, Barbara noticed a significant reduction in the stiffness of her joints and was able to return to knitting, a hobby she had abandoned due to pain. From a scientific standpoint, strawberries contain natural salicylates, aspirin-like compounds that can cause sensitivity in some people. In addition, strawberries have a high allergenic potential, and even subclinical reactions, those that you don't notice obviously, can increase inflammatory markers in the blood. What many doctors don't mention is that conventional, non-organic strawberries are often treated with pesticides that can remain on the fruit even after washing. These chemical residues can trigger inflammatory reactions in sensitive people, especially the elderly whose detoxification systems may not be as efficient. Alternatively, try blueberries, which have potent anti-inflammatory properties and are generally well tolerated even by sensitive people. If you still want to eat strawberries occasionally, always choose organic ones and in small amounts, observing how your body reacts. Are you with me so far? We're already halfway through our list, and I hope this information is helping you make connections to your own experience. Remember, every body is unique, and what causes inflammation in one person may not affect another. That's why it's so important to pay attention to your own body's signals. Our fifth fruit is a surprise to many of my patients. Grapes. Especially red and purple grapes are often praised for their resveratrol, a compound with antioxidant properties. However, grapes have one of the highest sugar contents of all fruits, which can be problematic for people with osteoarthritis. Thomas, a 70-year-old retired accountant from Washington, loved to have a glass of grape juice every night before bed. I read about the heart benefits of resveratrol and thought it was doing something good for my health, he told me. But my hips seemed to get worse steadily. When I stopped grape juice, I noticed an improvement in just 10 days. The science behind this is clear. Grapes contain fast-absorbing sugars that can cause blood glucose spikes, leading to insulin spikes that promote inflammation. In addition, grapes are one of the fruits with the highest concentration of natural histamine, a compound that can trigger inflammatory processes in sensitive people. One fact that few health professionals mention is that grapes are often treated with more pesticides than many other fruits. These chemical wastes can build up in the body and contribute to chronic inflammation that worsens osteoarthritis symptoms. Alternatively, consider low-sugar fruits like blackberries or blueberries, which offer similar antioxidant benefits without the high sugar content. If you really like grapes, stick to small portions, no more than 10 grapes at a time, and always choose organic varieties when possible. The sixth fruit on our list is the melon. This refreshing and seemingly harmless fruit can be problematic for people with osteoarthritis due to its high glycemic index and purine content. Purines are compounds that, when metabolized, can increase uric acid levels in the body, which can worsen inflammation in the joints. Learn the story of Dorothy, a 74-year-old retired social worker from Arizona. During hot summers, she ate cantaloupe almost daily to stay hydrated. I always considered melon to be a healthy and refreshing choice. But I started to notice that my knees were more swollen and sore in the following days, she reported. When Dorothy reduced her melon intake to just once a week, she noticed a significant improvement in the mobility of her joints. Scientifically, cantaloupes have a high glycemic index, which means they can cause rapid spikes in blood sugar, leading to insulin spikes that promote inflammatory processes. Additionally, they contain compounds that may interfere with uric acid excretion in some people, potentially increasing joint inflammation. A little-known consequence of regular consumption of cantaloupe is its effect on the acid-base balance of the body. Melons may contribute to a slightly more acidic environment in the body, which some research suggests may exacerbate osteoarthritis symptoms. Instead of cantaloupe, try fruits like peaches or nectarines, which have a lower glycemic index and are just as refreshing. If you really like cantaloupe, combine it with a protein source such as Greek yogurt to slow down sugar absorption and reduce its impact on blood glucose. Are you writing down this information? We're almost done with our list, but before I reveal the last fruit, I'd like to remind you that these findings can significantly change your experience with osteoarthritis. If you know someone who suffers from joint pain, share this video with them. This small gesture can transform the life of a loved one. The seventh and final fruit on our list is one that many consider a symbol of health and vitality. The mango. Rich in vitamins and minerals, mango is often recommended as part of a healthy diet. However, for people with osteoarthritis, its high sugar content and certain bioactive compounds can intensify inflammation in the joints. William, a 78-year-old retired college professor from Florida, loved to eat mango for breakfast almost every day. I always thought I was doing something good for my health. Mango was my favorite fruit, he told me. But when I eliminated it from my diet as part of an inflammation reduction program, I was surprised to notice that the stiffness in my hands decreased significantly. From a scientific standpoint, mangoes have one of the highest sugar contents among tropical fruits, which can promote inflammation through insulin spikes. In addition, they contain compounds called terpenes that, while beneficial for many people, can trigger sensitivity in individuals prone to inflammation. A little discussed aspect about mangoes is that they contain proteins similar to those found in pollen, which can trigger mild inflammatory reactions in people with certain sensitivities. These reactions may not be obvious like an allergy, but they can contribute to chronic inflammation that worsens osteoarthritis symptoms. Instead of mangoes, consider fruits like kiwi or papaya, which offer similar nutritional benefits but often cause fewer problems for people with osteoarthritis. If you really like mangoes, try to consume them in small portions and always along with a source of protein or healthy fat to slow down sugar absorption. Now that we've reviewed the 7 fruits that can quietly make your arthritis worse, let's talk about what you can include in your diet to really help fight inflammation and reduce your joint pain. The best fruits for people with osteoarthritis are those with proven anti-inflammatory properties. Blueberries are at the top of the list thanks to their powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins, which actively reduce inflammation in the body. Sour cherries are also excellent, with studies showing that they may be as effective as some anti-inflammatory medications for reducing pain. Other good options include avocado, which is technically a fruit, rich in healthy fats that lubricate the joints, and berries like raspberries and blackberries, which are low in sugar and high levels of anti-inflammatory compounds. Let me share with you the inspiring story of Helen, a 76-year-old retired nurse from Michigan. For 5 years, Helen could barely walk due to severe arthrosis in her knees. She had tried everything from physical therapy to cortisone injections, with limited results. I had accepted that I would spend my last years with reduced mobility and constant pain, she told me. Helen began implementing the dietary changes we discussed today, eliminating inflammatory fruits and increasing the consumption of those with anti-inflammatory properties. She has also added other anti-inflammatory foods like ginger, turmeric, and omega-3 rich fish to her diet. The change wasn't immediate, but after about 3 weeks I started to notice that the morning stiffness was decreasing. After 2 months, the pain had reduced so much that I was able to cut my medications in half with my doctor's approval, Helen said. 6 months later, she was taking daily 30-minute walks and even returned to dancing, an activity she had abandoned years earlier. Let's now go to a practical plan that you can start implementing today. Step 1. Gradual elimination of problem fruits. Don't try to eliminate them all at once. Start with the 2 you consume most often and observe how your body responds for 2 weeks. Step 2. Add a daily serving of anti-inflammatory fruits, such as blueberries, cherries, or avocados, preferably at breakfast when your body is most receptive to absorbing nutrients. Step 3. Combine your fruits with lean protein sources or healthy fats to slow down sugar absorption. For example, add nuts to your fruits or consume them together with unsweetened Greek yogurt. Step 4. Hydrate properly. Dehydration can worsen inflammation in the joints. Try to drink at least 8 glasses of water a day, including infusions of anti-inflammatory herbs like ginger or turmeric. Step 5. After 30 days, make an honest assessment of how your joints are feeling. Keep a simple food and symptom diary to identify connections between what you eat and how you feel. The most important thing in this process is consistency and patience. Your osteoarthritis didn't develop overnight, and your body will need time to adjust to dietary changes and show significant improvements. Living with arthrosis is not just about managing pain, but about regaining joy in everyday moments. Those simple pleasures like holding the hand of someone you love, grabbing a cup of coffee without grimacing in pain, or playing with your grandchildren. I know you've shown incredible courage just by seeking answers. And I want you to know that you're no longer alone on this journey. Here at Forever Young Tips, our community understands exactly what you're going through because we've been down that path too. Every week I share simple and effective approaches that have helped thousands of people like you find relief without expensive medications or risky surgeries. If you would like to join our family of wellness, simply click on the sign up button below. When you do this, you'll get practical and gentle guidance straight to your inbox, tips that work for real people with real arthritis pain. No false promises. No miracle cures, just honest and proven approaches that can help you wake up tomorrow feeling a little better than today. Because you deserve to live with less pain and more joy. Sign up now, and let's walk this journey together, one comfortable step at a time. And if this video helped you in any way, please share it with someone you know who is suffering from osteoarthritis. Sometimes the right information can be the first step to a life with less pain. Thanks for watching, and remember, your joints may be aging, but your joie de vivre doesn't have to diminish. I'll see you in the next video, where I'm going to share 3 5-minute exercises that can significantly reduce your joint pain in just 1 week. Until then, take care of yourself with affection.